Jesus said to his disciples, "The kingdom of heaven is like a landowner going out at daybreak to hire workers for his vineyard. He made an agreement with the workers for 1 denarius a day and sent them to his vineyard. Going out at about the third hour, he saw others standing idle in the marketplace and said to them, 'You go to my vineyard too, and I will give you a fair wage.' So they went. At about the sixth hour, and again at about the ninth hour, he went out and did the same. Then up at about the 11th hour, he went out and found more men standing around. And he said to them, 'Why have you been standing here idle all day?' 'Because no one hired us,' they answered. He said to them, 'You go into my vineyard too.' In the evening, the owner of the vineyard said this to the bailiff: 'Call the workers and pay them their wages, starting with the last arrivals and ending with the first.' So those who were hired at about the 11th hour came forward and received 1 denarius each. When the first came, they expected to get more, but they too received 1 denarius each. They took it, but grumbled at the landowner. 'The men who came last,' they said, 'have done only 1 hour, and you have treated them the same as us, though we have done a heavy day's work in all the heat.' He answered one of them and said, 'My friend, I am not being unjust to you. Did we not agree on 1 denarius? Take your earnings and go. I choose to pay the last comer as much as I pay you. Have I no right to do what I like with my own? Why be envious because I am generous? Thus, the last will be first, and the first last." Sisters and brothers, in the year 1904, Mahatma Gandhi was in South Africa. Sometime in the month of June that year, he made a train journey from Johannesburg to Durban. That particular journey became a turning point in the life and mission of the Mahatma. Just about when the train was to leave, a friend of his, Henry Pollock by name, gave Gandhiji a book to read on the journey. The title of that book was "Unto This Last," written by John Ruskin in the year 1862. Now, already Gandhiji was in the search for meaning in life, or pursuit of the truth, as he himself said it. Particularly, ever since he was thrown out of the train in the middle of the night in the year 1893, as a sign of racial discrimination, he has been searching for meaning in life. Now, what was this book all about? This book, Unto This Last, was based on the parable that we had read just now. What does the parable say? Many individuals were called to work. Some do more work, some do less work, but all receive the same benefit. In the capitalistic way of thinking, if you do more work, you should get more benefit. If you do less work, you will get only less benefit. But in a human way of thinking, everyone has a right to live. Everyone has basic needs that are to be fulfilled. No injustice should be done to anybody. Everybody's welfare is important. This was the message of that book. Thus, that book, Unto This Last, was a kind of commentary on the gospel passage which we just now read. It was a commentary on the parable of today, proposing a new way of life, a new social order, and a new economic order, namely, welfare of all. Gandhiji was fascinated by this thought. Gandhiji further spelt it out. He said, take a lawyer and a barber. Mind you, he himself was a lawyer, we know. Both are human beings. Both have human rights and human needs. And they are the same. In a society, there are lawyers, barbers, teachers, farmers, carpenters, politicians, chief ministers, prime ministers, and so on. All are needed for the well-being of the society. Each one has his own or her own role to play. Each one is indispensable. But there should be no question of high and low among them. There should be no question of somebody getting more benefit and somebody getting less benefit among them in the society. That was the thinking of Mahatma Gandhi, inspired by that book. And that was the beginning of Sarvodaya, the welfare of all. Gandhiji did not stop only by a thought. He translated this ideology into a way of life. Quickly, he gathered like-minded people together and started to live in community, a common life, in the Phoenix farm. In that community, there were lawyers, estate workers, carpenters, barbers, all sorts of people doing all sorts of work. They all lived in harmony. Everyone contributed according to one's ability. Everyone received according to one's need. There were no social ups and downs in that community. No economic ups and downs. There was equality. No injustice was done to anyone. Everybody's welfare was taken care of. When Gandhiji came back to India, he brought that kind of life, that type of life. In order to live that life, he established the Sabarmati Ashram. Thus we see a prophet of the kingdom of God in Mahatma Gandhi. What do we see in the revelation in the Bible? In Mount Sinai, God called the people of Israel, to a life of equality. A life of equality without social and economic ups and downs among them. This was the purpose of the covenant, and this was the purpose of the 10 commandments given by God. To a great extent, The people of Israel succeeded in living that life, particularly during the time of the judges, as we read in the Old Testament. But soon they fell away from that kind of life. When they were not faithful to the covenant, were not faithful to the call that God had given them, a life of equality, God sent them prophets. All the prophets of the Old Testament kept calling the people of Israel back to this life of equality, the life of the covenant, the life of welfare of all. When Jesus came, he declared that he was sent by God to restore human equality, freedom for all, welfare of all. That was the kingdom of God that Jesus proclaimed. In the kingdom of God, the welfare of all is the goal. The kingdom is not a capitalistic society. It is a human society where human beings have become fully alive to the welfare of all. This is the message of the parable of today. This is the kingdom. After the resurrection of Jesus, the early Christians understood this very well, understood what it means to be Christians. In chapters 2 and chapter 4 of the Acts of the Apostles, we see that the early Christians lived as Sarvodaya communities. Everyone contributed according to one's ability. Everyone received according to one's need. Everyone gave everything they had. Everyone received everything they needed. This is Christian life. This is religious life. This is Sarvodaya. This is the kingdom of God. Sisters and brothers, we need to assess ourselves in the light of the revelation, in the light of the prophetic interventions and prophetic examples of persons like Mahatma Gandhi. In this Eucharist, let us pledge ourselves, pledge our life to follow the example of the early Christians, to live a life of Sarvodaya, caring for the welfare of all.